everybody, welcome to Carnation Crafts TV. I'm Laura. We have Kat next door. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are starting our craft along for this hour. So we are going to be using the Clean and Simple Rising Iris. You might have seen this last week. We did this on Carnation Crafts. Dawn did it here, and then I did it on Hobby Maker. We're still on extended stock. We're on extended dispatch for the Rising Iris kit. So if you do want to grab that, so you know yours is coming when it comes in, we do have a look on the website. But this is what we're going to be using for our craft along today. Now for the craft along, we want to be more interactive. We want to do more things with you guys at home, so you can craft along with me. Or if there's something, so last time we did this, what we did is we asked for the crafters at home to message in, so just comment on the live video what die, if there's a die that you may have at home that you want to know if it will work with this, or if there's a die that you are looking at that you think you might want to use with this or anything like that. You do that, and then the team are going to bring the die in and just put me on the spot and see if we can make it work. So if there's something that you want to see used with this, then message in, or if you've got any questions or anything at all, we're here to be with you guys. So any questions, anything you want to ask if we can do, or even just anything on the website that you want us to show you, absolutely anything at all, then message in. So well, hopefully you guys are going to message in. I am going to start with a demo. So I'm going to demo the Clean and Simple. So we're going to go overhead. So we are going to use the Clean and Simple. Now I am using the cardstock that comes in the kit. I love this. Did we sell out of it here? Because I know on Hobby Maker we completely sold out of the sangria. I'm just going to pull it out of the cardstock here so you can see it, because it is such a lovely colour. It's 350 GSM. It still works amazingly for your die cutting, and Cass just said it is out of stock. So the only way that you can get that is if you pre-order the extended dispatch in the Clean and Simple. Oh, Cass saying you can register your interest in the cardstock. There you go. So go on the product page and then you can pop your email in there so you'll know when that comes back in. So I'm going to glue these two. So the Clean and Simple is your card with your detail flower. You get the aperture or the design in there. So I've used that outside mat to make my card base. I'm just going to show you quickly so you know what I'm using. So if you are crafting along at home, so you've got your outside mat. We've cut two of them out in the sangria to use for the card base. Then I've gone in with white, the sangria cardstock again, and white. Actually, I haven't done white. I've done the natural blush natural that is also in the kit. So you can see we've got that. Then our blush natural next, which is just going to sit on there like that. So let's add some tea to this one, just to raise this one up from the back. So you do get your Clean and Simple foam tape in the kit as well. I tend to keep that one because it's thinner. I keep it for it's like thinner frames, your matte and layers, or shaker cards and things like that. And I tend to use the bigger one if I'm doing anything like this. So then we've got that. Cass just said my nails match the card, so maybe that's why I picked it. So we're going to pop that then on there like that. So we've got our shape straight away. Now the top layer of this you could run through again and put the embossed detail in that if you wanted to. You could stamp onto these. There's so many different ways of actually mixing and matching these up. So I'm going to pop this on. And then this is going to go on there like that. And then we're going to pop this on here. Oh, so Kat, so Mark has just been in and said that they have found some more of the sangria cardstock, and they are going to load it onto the website now. So if you do want to grab any more of that sangria cardstock, then grab it while it's there, because I know this was super popular. And it is one of those things, if you look at the Clean and Simple kit and you think, you know, you've got dies, you've got stamps, they're going to last you a lifetime. The cardstock is the thing that you're going to run out of. So it's great to get some more of that in there. So we're going to, let's cut out. I'm going to just grab this die here. Let's cut our iris out. Iris makes me think of a name. I'm sure my nan had a friend who was called Iris, and every time I hear Iris now, it makes me just, do you know, like certain words that they just think they sound like names, not the thing that it's supposed to be. And that's one of them for me. Yeah, like Holly. Yeah, Holly, I think of a name more than actual Holly. So let's actually, yeah, I'll do that. So I've got my vignette, and you are going, these are on the website. You can get these now if you haven't done it already. You do get them single-sided and mirrored. So I've got the mirrored one here. I've scored down that black line that you get on there and then just glued it. I use a wet glue. I can't get on with spray glue. So I use a wet glue and then just run that through. And then we'll have our double-sided die cut then. So the lovely thing with this, especially with it being a flower, if you wanted to add it into a box, or if you wanted to make like a pop-up box or anything like that, you've got more options of what you're going to do with it, because you're not going to have that like harsh white edge to it. So let's pop this out. So we've got our flower. So you've got your decoupage piece, and then you've got your iris as well. Just pop these little bits out, and then you can see how detailed that is. I love the colours in this. They really stand out, especially on a Clean and Simple style card. You know, just on some white space, and this just pops with the colour. There you go. So you can see what they look like. Really, really, really pretty. So you can see them. Right, so if you go back to our card, right, before we start sticking anything down, because I'll forget otherwise, we need a sentiment. So let's grab, what shall we do? We'll do happy birthday. So I'll just grab you might want to use a stamping platform, or whatever you find easier. So I've just got a little acrylic block for now. It's only a small area that I'm stamping on. And then we've got happy birthday stamped there. So we'll just pop that to one side. I just don't want to touch the ink a minute. Right, and then I've also got the almost like thread, and I'm going to pop that coming down there like that. So I'm going to cut about there. I'm going to cut that off. So just use your scissors, or use a cutter if you feel better, and then just cut that bit away. So that is just going to sit there like that, which I think is so effective, and there's so many different ways you could actually use that. So I'm going to pop this in there. Well, actually I might pop it in there. Let's pop that there. Right, so I'm going to stick this in there. While I'm sticking this in, if you want to message in any of your suggestions of what you want us to use, or anything you'd like to see, even if there's just something you've seen on the website and you think, oh, actually I wonder what that looks like, or I wish they did a show on that, or absolutely anything at all, then do give us a message. Right, we're going to pop that on there like that, and then I'm going to pop a little bit of glue. So I'm just going to use my fingers, and I'm just going to give these a little shape. And then we'll pop this on there like that. And then actually I'm going to put a blob behind there as well, just to keep that. Like that. And then just pop some glue onto this bit. So this is that lovely thread bit that we just cut down. Oh, I think I've run out of glue. I'm going to have to use the wrong day glue. Oh my gosh, it's still the same day. I've still got a Tuesday and a Tuesday. Right, let me just pop that there like that. And then I'll pop that in. Just grab. Right, so I'm going to just pop that down. I've got glue on that, it's just come up. If I just pop glue on there. And then we've got that there like that. And then I've got, so your tags, you've got tags and circles in here. So you can see you've got your tags that have got lovely distressed kind of tone edge to them, and with the circles as well. So, and those have been designed to use with the stamps. So if I just grab the sentiments, so you can see how you've got some that have been designed to go in the tag, and then other ones that have been stacked on top of each other, so they fit perfectly in the circle. So you can see how they work. So I've got the tag there. And I'm just going to pop a bit of Bit of foam on the back of that one. So we raise this one up. So let's pop that there. So I'm just going to pop that in that corner there. I'm going to see will that one fit on there. Yeah, so we'll pop this tape on there as well. Oh. And then we'll pop that on there like that. So you've got your sentiment. Now if you wanted to, you could go in and add in even more. So like you could add in, and I think this is what's so lovely about the Clean and Simple range, is you could just keep going. So you could cut that bit off and you could add another one in. So you've got the flowers going like that. You could add more in behind, and especially with the decoupage pieces, you could add in the back. So you could build them up, or you could add, you know, you could have added in another one there before we put the sentiment down. So there's lots of different ways that you can actually mix and match these up. I'm just going to try, Kat, if you're talking to me, I can't hear you. I'm just going to try turning my talk back on and off to see if it works while you're looking at my card. Yeah. Right, we're back. I can hear you. So whatever you told me during the whole demo, I have absolutely no clue. Right, but we finished our card. Right, we finished our card. Yay! Right then, have we had any? Okay. Are we doing that next? Okay, so we're just going to go straight into another demo. Right, let's do this one then. Right, let's pop that there. Right, so I've got my card to start with. So we've got the Sangria cardstock, so we're going to use this. So again, I'm using the die that comes in the kit. So this is the mat. Now you can use this like I am and build your card base completely with it, or this could be, I don't know, this could be your mat and layer. So that could be your card, your mat and layer to go on to a bigger card. So you're never limited. You can add it onto something bigger, you know, make a card with it. So you never, don't look at it and think, oh, you know, well, I have to use it that size, or I have to use it to be that card. You don't have to at all. You can mix and match it up. So let's add some glue. And then we can pop, and make sure it's the right way. It is. Pop that on there. So I've just scored that top bit exactly like I did the other one. So I've made my card base with that. And then we're going to go in with the next layer then. So we've got the blush natural to go in next. So let's raise this one up. So So we can pop that on. Oh. Right, let's pop that on there. So you got your perfect matte and layer there. Then we're going to go in with your next layer, which is going to go there. And then, yeah, move that. Right, so we've got our next one. So I've done this in the same colour. I'm going to raise this up. So I'm just going to add some tape on there. And then we can add some more in there. I know you said we've had some suggestions. Have you had any questions, or is it just some suggestions of what people want to see? Just suggestions. Or if anybody does have any questions or anything that you want to know, or maybe you want Bunny and Cat to come on screen so you can put a name to a face to the name. They might do. I remember things easier if I see it. I don't know why. It's like if I see something, I remember it, or if I write it down. Like if I want to remember something, I need to write it down. Right. Before I stick, is it that one? Yes. Right. Before I stick this down, so what I've done, the top layer, which is this one, so the one that we used on top here, so where you've got that lovely you've almost got like that cut line that comes in on the top and the bottom. So what I've done, where that meets in the center, so where that stitch detail is, I've just followed that cut line. Just get a craft knife or get scissors and just follow that cut line, which is what I've done. I've just gone like that, which has left me with that. So you can see how that comes away. And then what I'm going to do, that is going to go on there. But before I stick that on there, I'm going to stick these. Actually, I need to stick that on first. Let's stick this bit. So that bit that I've cut away is going to go down. So let's just put a bit of tape on the back of there. And then let's go. Where's that other? I lost my pin flat. Right, so I'm just going to give these a little bit of shape, and then I'm going to put one kind of coming up there. One there. Right, so let's grab pin flower. So we're going to pop that there like that. And then add this one in. Pop that on there. And then I'm going to add this in. That's going to go there. And then, oh, is this for me?
Yes.
Is this right? Okay. So Bunny's just come in. with these. Right, let me try turning you off and on again because I've lost you. Oh, I might pull these flowers off actually. No, I've stuck them down. Right, I can hear you. Right, I think I'll have to do it with the next one now because I've glued that down. I don't know. Actually, no, I won't. Right, before I stick any more of that down. Right, so Bonnie came in and she has brought me Wild and Free. So was this a suggestion or did somebody ask for it? Can't you go on again? I think I'm gonna have to change it. You do come back on when I'm turning you off, but you keep going off again. Let me just turn you off. You still there? Right. No, I'm gonna have to change you. I can't hear you. You keep going and coming on. No, it's the battery. Right, I'm just gonna change my thing so we can hear Kat, so I can know whose suggestion it is. But while I'm doing that, I'm gonna grab some tape so we can cut these out. And then we can run this through while I change my... So I can change, I can actually hear something. Right, which, well, I'm asking questions, I can't hear the answers. Which one was it? Was it a particular one or anyone?
It's just like the collection of animals.
Okay, we'll go with... Right, let's do these. So let's pop these on here, and then while this is going through, I'll pop my ear back in. Right, let's pop that on there. These are so pretty. And pop this on there. So just tape that down, and then, right, while that's going through, I'll just hopefully pop Cat back in my ear. Are you there, Cat? Yeah. Right, so who was this? From Anne. Also, Anne messaging asking if we could use this because this is one of her favourite Dyke sets. Oh. Oh, and Suzanne Page had a suggestion as well. Oh, and she was also showing her auntie and uncle the card that she won in the last craft along because they surprised her with a visit on the weekend. Oh, that's so nice. And I hope Suzanne's feeling better. Right, let's grab this. I don't know whether I added in this one or maybe the next one. Decisions. Actually, I'm going to do this one. Right, so I've added in so I've done my cat base, I've done the mats, I've done the top mat there where you can see I've cut it off. So I've got those two separate. I've stuck that iris there, and then I'm going to stick this one there like that. And then I'm going to sneeze. Sorry, excuse me. And then we're going to pop that there and add this. Actually, let's put 2 layers on this. On there. So let me just turn that round, and then that is just going to fit on there like that. So you've got those flowers coming out from underneath it, and you can play them around as well. So I'm going to pop. Do you know what? I feel like you could pop any of the animals on there and it would still work. You pop that one there. Or even like the foxes as well. I feel like you could pop any of them just next to that there. I feel like... Would you get irises in the snow? Actually, let's cut these out as well. Between spring and summer, they flower. Oh. To be fair, it's normally... Well, no, I feel like we would have had all of the snow by now, wouldn't we? If we were having snow. We sometimes get in like February. Do we? To be fair, I never get snow. Never get snow. So let's cut these. And grab some tape. And now we'll pop these in there. I adore these. They are so cute. I love the movement in them as well. That on there, and then pop this one through. And then we need a sentiment. So I've already got a tag that I've cut out from the Clean and Simple. So I think what we'll do is we'll stamp a sentiment on there. So we'll do I tell you what we'll do, because I'm gonna, in case we send this out, we'll do well done. So let's just pop this out. Oop. So we've got them. Let's grab my block. Oh, so Elizabeth is messaging asking what thickness the cardstock is. So the sangria is 350 and the blush is 250. It's 350. Okay, Cat is saying 290. It says on here 350 on the packaging. Okay, Cat saying 290. Right, I'm gonna well done. And I got my tag. So let's stamp this out. Was there more questions? Oh, Suzanne Page has messaged back in saying she feels a lot better and she feels like things are moving in the right direction. Oh, fingers crossed. So I'm gonna add and I'm gonna tuck him in there like that. So I'm gonna pull this out. Where's that? So let's add him in there. And then pop that there. So he looks like he's jumping out of there. And then add him there, like they're having a little play. Put that on there, and then I've got my tag from the sangria and then the blush. I'm just going to put some foam tape on the back of there. And now we can pop this on there like that. Oh, actually, I might just pop that there. Like that. Do I? Don't know where I want to put it. There, it's going there like that before I change my mind. Let's put some tape on there. And then we'll put that like that. There you go. So who was it that messaged in asking to see them together? Anne. There you go, Anne. So that's bringing it in. If you email customer services your postage address, and then we'll pop this in the post to you as a thank you for messaging in with the suggestion. I think they look really cute with those flowers. Oh, we've got a message from Louise saying, what a beautiful accent. Oh, thank you, Louise. Everybody up here does take the mickey out of me, but thank you. Everybody in the office, we need to take a picture of that email. Right, are we doing another one? Are we doing another suggestions? Right, let me just move that out of the way then. Let's I'll leave that there. Right. Let me just stick these dies back on there because I'm a bit scared I'm going to lose them. How nice is it that the image is on the packaging? Because otherwise, I think we've all been there when you get something and you just can't get it back in. It doesn't matter how many ways you try mixing it up, it just doesn't go back in, and you're like, it has to fit because it came that way, but it just never works. Oh, we've had a message from Pauline who says, my cards are so pretty. Oh, thank you, Pauline, but yours will be too with Carnation. Let's pop that. So I'm going to make the mat again. I'm using this for my base. So this is going to be my card size. And then for this one, I've gone in with white cardstock. Now, using white and using the blush does make a big difference. I was trying to find like the right way of describing the blush, but if you've ever done a card where you've got a lot of white space and you feel like it just looks a bit too harsh or a bit too I don't know what the word is, it just looks a bit harsh, I would say, with the white. The blush will balance it out and just soften it a lot, because if I show you that one now in the white and then I put that next to it in the blush, can you see how it just softens it? So like that's with the white cardstock, and then that is with the blush natural. So it just softens it down, and it also adds more interest because you've got almost a slight colour in the background, so it's not completely white. So if you have ever struggled, try using our blush cardstocks because they will make a world of difference as well. Right, this one, I cannot remember what I was going to do, so let's just mix and match it up. Oh yes, I can. I remember. Right, so there's our card. Let's add some tape. So add some of our foam tape on there. The other thing I would always suggest is adding in some foam in between your mass and layers. Just getting the height in between those layers adds so much dimension, because you're adding in that point of interest and it just helps draw your eye in, especially when you're making more of a simple looking card as well. So let's pop that on there. And then that is going to sit on there. So let's pop that on there. And then that is going to go there, like that. So now for this one I've got this circle. So I've already cut out in the sangria. And then I've got a circle one there. So let's put this one away first. Let's pop that on there. And let's do enjoy your day. Put that on there. So I'm using seedless preserve from the Distress Oxide, if anybody wants to know. Pop that there. And we've got our sentiment done. So let's just pop that there a minute because I don't want to touch the ink until that dries. And then I've got two then of my iris. So let's just give this a little bit of shape. And now these, I'm going to cut these in because I'm going to put one there, and then I want another one to go there on the bottom. So I'm just going to snip away the bottom stem. So just cut that off. So you've got that there like that. And then that is going to just sit there like that. Then I can move it up ever so slightly, so it's not going to interfere with underneath the card. So let's grab some pin flour. There, and then that one is going to go there like that, and then we'll pop that there, just so I know where that's going to go. And then let's add in some of the decoupage, because you do get these as well, but equally you could use those on their own, so you could pop them there and build that up. You don't have to use them as decoupage, you can mix and match these up however you want them to be. Let's add in that one that goes slightly under there, like that, and then just put a bit of tape on there because my pin flare is going to run out. And then that can go on there without moving. There, and then you could add I think that looks cute. You could even tuck them behind as well, couldn't you? You could have you could have it like have that there and that on there like that. Tuck them in. This is the fun bit though, when you get home and you just play around with your dies and cut into them, think of different ways that you want to use them. And then onto them. I think that looks, yeah, they just fit in everything, don't they? Even like these, you can just pop them in absolutely anywhere and they just fit. Or you can even tuck that one in behind that. Really, really cute. Really cute. So you can see there. So I'll just show you, we did that one and that one. Do it using only the Rise and Iris, clean and simple. So that was the one from last week. And then we also did this one, which is going to be going in the post to, who was it? Was it Anne? Anne, yes. So that will be in the post to you, Anne, for messaging in your suggestion of using the Wild and Free with the Rise and Iris, which I think will work really, really well together. And I wouldn't have thought of using those two together, but it does look really nice. Really nice. Right. So thank you everybody. If you message in suggestions, I hope we answered all of your questions. And don't forget to email customer service with your address so we can post that out to you. The next craft along is on the 12th of May. And it'll be using Perfect Recipe, which is our new launch. So if you want to message, can they message you now on customer service? Yeah, so you can email on customer service now if maybe there's something you want to see us do in the craft along, or you want us to go through in more detail in the craft along, or anything at all. Message customer service, and then we can look at doing that then in the next craft along if you don't want to message in the live in the show. That is it for today. That is our last show. I will be on Hobby Maker tomorrow at 3. I've got a sale show tomorrow, so if you want to join us for that tomorrow. Otherwise, Dawn will be back on. Dawn will be here on Tuesday to do the launch with Dave, and then I will be here Wednesday. I will be back on Wednesday. So hopefully you have a lovely weekend. The weather is absolutely glorious, and we will see you next week. Bye.